Welcome back to Heroic Elite Comics, folks. Buckle up, because today we're diving headfirst into the gripping world of Absolute Superman. This isn't your classic Man of Steel soaring through Metropolis with a bright smile and a flowing cape. No, this Superman is a whole different beast, elusive, raw, and shrouded in mystery. In this comic, we're thrust into a darker, more grounded take on the iconic hero, and let me tell you, it's a wild ride. The story picks up with Lois Lane, but she's not the plucky reporter we all know. Here, she's an agent for Lazarus, a totalitarian military organization that's more about control than saving the day. Let's unpack this epic hunt for Absolute Superman and see what makes this story so electrifying. The comic opens with Lois Lane on a mission. She's not chasing scoops for the Daily Planet. Instead, she's tracking down leads on Superman, who's nothing like the public-facing hero we're used to. This Superman doesn't pose for photos or make grand speeches. He's a ghost, operating in the shadows, helping people in secret and vanishing before anyone can pin him down. Lois, working for Lazarus, is interviewing folks who've crossed paths with him. She's relentless, asking questions like, "You worked with him at the textile factory, right? He had dinner with your family, saved your life by lifting a crane off you all by himself." But the people she's questioning are tight-lipped. They're not giving her anything. No names, no hints about where he's from or where he's headed. It's like they're protecting him, and Lois is hitting a brick wall. Frustrated, Lois switches tactics. She softens her approach, trying to build trust. "I know you feel like you need to protect him from me," she says, "but I'm the one trying to protect him. He's alone out there, far from home. He can do incredible things, but he can't control his powers, can he? Sooner or later, he's going to hurt himself or someone else. He's scared and he needs help. I can help him." It's a compelling pitch, and you can feel Lois's determination mixed with a hint of compassion, but the people she's talking to aren't buying it. There's a deeper layer to their silence. They don't just want to shield Superman, they don't trust Lazarus. And who can blame them? Lazarus is painted as an oppressive force, promising prosperity but delivering misery. The people live in sprawling, informal settlements, packed with 400,000 workers, scraping by under Lazarus's iron fist. Lois, undeterred, keeps pushing. She acknowledges their distrust. "I get it. You don't trust Lazarus Corp. They promised you a better life, but you're living in squalor. I'm not asking you to trust them. I'm asking you to trust me. I know I have to earn that trust, so forget my other questions. Just tell me one thing. Who gave you that wound?" That's when the truth starts to slip out. The wound came from a Lazarus Peacemaker, one of the so-called peacekeepers who are more like a brutal police force. This revelation underscores the corruption at the heart of Lazarus, and it sets the stage for Lois's next move. Now, Lois Lane isn't just a desk agent, she's a force of nature. She tracks down a peacemaker named Kring Shaw, a guy known for cutting people for fun. In a moment that's pure Lois, she confronts him head on. "I hear you like to cut people," she says, her voice dripping with defiance. When she gets the upper hand, she demands to know which hand he uses for his knife. "If you don't show me, I'll assume it's both," she warns. Shaw, cornered, reveals his knifing hand, and Lois doesn't hesitate. She breaks his fingers, declares him under arrest, and walks away like the badass she is. It's a quintessential Lois Lane moment. Fearless, no nonsense, and willing to do whatever it takes to get answers. But the real bombshell comes when Lois finally gets a breakthrough from the people she's interviewing. One of them opens up about Superman, and it's not just admiration, it's reverence. Being in his presence changes you, they say. You feel it. You can't sleep because you see him burned into the darkness behind your eyes. Sometimes you can feel the sizzle of his dust in the air. You were struck by lightning, Agent Lane, and now you can't help but chase the storm. Others share similar stories. "I searched for him after he saved me and my family. Nothing else made sense, but I couldn't find him." Another adds, "He's a whisper who walks among screams. He sees children in cages, families clinging to rafts, grown men weeping on the factory floor. He's afraid, not of you, but of the day Lazarus drives him to such anger that he saves this world by killing all of you." This is where the story gets chills-inducing. The people view Superman with almost religious devotion, a champion who embodies hope in a world crushed by Lazarus's tyranny. They'd rather die than betray him. More than that, they pray for Lazarus's destruction, for Superman to rise up and end their oppressors. It's a stark reminder of how corrupt Lazarus is. When the entire world is praying for your downfall, you might want to reconsider your hero status. This depiction of Superman harks back to his 1938 roots, when he was introduced as a fierce protector of the downtrodden, willing to take on any injustice to defend the powerless. As Lois processes this, she's in a town in Pakistan, collecting traces of the red dust Superman leaves behind. She speaks into the void, knowing he might hear her. "Your friends are wrong. I'm not chasing the storm. I am the storm, and you can't hide from me forever." It's a powerful moment, and it hints at Lois's complex feelings for Superman. Sure, she's got a job to do, but there's something more. She's infatuated, drawn to him in a way that goes beyond professional duty. You can almost picture her smirking, half challenging, half yearning for him to show himself. The story shifts gears when Lois gets a call from her father, General Lane. Their dynamic is strained, mirroring their relationship in Action Comics #832, where they hashed out old wounds after General Lane's death in the Imperiex attack. Here he's alive but retired, and their conversation is more professional than familial. Lois calls him General more often than Dad, reflecting the distance between them. She insists Superman isn't a villain. "I've chased him across 6 continents, stood in every shack he's slept in, talked to anyone who's been near him. He's destroyed $1 trillion worth of tanks, but his body count is 0. He's not a killer, not a soldier, just some mumbly little hippie boy." General Lane's response is chilling. "That's what they said about Charles Manson. Take the peacemakers with you, Agent Lane." He warns her about an engagement officer who tried to interface with communities without an armed escort and ended up in pieces, courtesy of the Omega Men. His advice? Stick to laser-guided bombs and peacemakers, not humanitarian quests. This sets up a moral quandary that runs through the story. Who are the good guys? Lazarus claims to keep the peace, but their methods are brutal. The Omega Men, a rebel group, fight for freedom but aren't above killing to achieve it. Lois encounters one of them, a man named Alpha, who tries to reason with her. Lazarus is built on lies. He says, "Haven't you ever wondered if you're on the right side?" When he blinds her with a flash from his mask, Lois doesn't flinch. "If you think I haven't been trained to fight while blinded, you don't know anything about Lazarus," she snaps. Their conversation delves into the moral grayness of their conflict. Alpha claims the Omega Men fight to save the world, but Lois counters, "I'm sure that's what you tell yourself when you kill someone who doesn't want to be saved." It's a gut punch of a question. Who gets to decide what's best for others? The tension escalates when the Omega Men's leader, Omega Prime, ambushes Lois, hinting at a personal connection. She's the reason General Lane lost his legs. Before things can spiral further, red dust appears, signaling Superman's arrival. Omega Prime tries to appeal to him. "Superman, the Omega Men stand ready to help you against Lazarus." But Superman's not having it. "No," he says, brushing them off. He turns to Lois. "Stop looking for me." She pleads for a moment to talk, but the peacemakers, led by a volatile Christopher Smith, storm in. Smith, consumed by rage, screams, "It's the Superman!" Superman, unfazed, freezes everyone with a glance and vanishes, leaving Lois furious at Smith for ruining her chance to connect with him. In the aftermath, we learn Alpha is none other than Jimmy Olsen, reimagined as a rebel fighter in the Absolute Universe. He's as captivated by Superman as Lois is, but from the other side of the fight. Meanwhile, Smith's unraveling. He confesses to nearly killing innocents in a rage-fueled moment, only stopped by a misfired gun. The Brainiac algorithm dismisses his guilt, sending him back into the field. Later, Smith snaps, killing everyone in a frenzy, cementing his role as the unhinged peacemaker we know. Absolute Superman is a masterpiece of moral complexity, gritty action, and raw emotion. It reimagines Superman as a mythic figure, Lois as a conflicted agent, and the world as a battleground of ideals. What do you think of this bold new take? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and we'll catch you next time for more epic comic breakdowns. Peace!